Every so often a TV series comes out that gets people talking, and that series right now is the Netflix one, Adolescence. So why has this show gripped people and got those discussions flowing? Well, first of all, it is a 4-episode miniseries, with each episode being around 1 hour in length, and so it's a show you could easily watch in one sitting if you wish. And I wouldn't be surprised if you do, because you get very invested in this story from the off, because in the first episode, in the first few moments, we're seeing Jamie here, the 13-year-old boy, get arrested for murdering a schoolgirl called Katie. And the whole show is about this, but it's not about whether he did it or whether he didn't do it. It's about the why. And with each episode, so the first episode is that introduction. The second one, it's then we're in the school and seeing how his school life was. In the third one, we're then seeing him with his psychologist, which is a very intense episode. And in the fourth one, we're with his family and seeing how they're coping with this situation. The show is written by Jack Thorne and Stephen Graham, and the latter also stars as Jamie's father, Eddie. And when it comes to Stephen Graham, he always brings a quality with him. He's a very dependable actor, and many times throughout this series that you thought, wow, that's just absolutely brilliant what you've done there. But in terms of the standout, it's definitely Owen Cooper who plays Jamie. This is his first time in front of a camera, and you wouldn't believe it. Like, he is so talented, and one of those young stars where you think, wow, he's got a massive career ahead of him now. Especially episode 3 with his psychologist. That was just so intense and so gripping. It's one of those where I couldn't look away. So yeah, this is definitely one to watch. Now with Adolescence, as it doesn't go down that typical crime drama route, this different approach might not be for you. But if it is, then I think you will definitely enjoy it. But I think episode 1 and episode 3 will be the ones that stick out more to you. I think they are definitely the best 2 episodes. Episode 2 and episode 4 have more time where you feel like, yeah, if this wasn't one shot, we would cut away here. We don't need to see this bit in particular. And it requires more patience from the viewer. And I think overall, when we look at the story, I think some people might feel unfulfilled when we get to the end of it, because it leaves you with that question of, what do you think? And some people would rather not have that. They'd rather just have, give me the answers now, and I don't want to think about it anymore. But this is definitely one where it says, all right, go think about it. What do you think about it? Do some homework. But I think this is a sort of show which people actually enjoy, because you can go to work or go and see some family and have a good discussion about these subjects, which I'll talk about in a minute, actually. So yeah, I think it's a show which isn't perfect, just looking at it as a piece of entertainment, but there's a lot going for it, when it continues into the real world. But yeah, and also I have to mention as well, just on a technical standpoint, the drone shot was so cool. I love that as well. There's some really cool shots here, as it is a one-shot thing. You think to yourself, what? How is that? How are we still going? How did you get from there to there? And it's still going as one shot. So as I said earlier, this is a series less about the who and more about the why. Why Jamie is the way he is, why he goes down this violent path, and all the factors that are at play here. And so the series opens those conversations about the damage social media can do, and also the messaging, like incel messaging, and how that can impact kids as well. With these topics pushed into focus, there's also been calls for the series to be shown in schools, and that's been supported by Keir Starmer, the Prime Minister of the UK. Now, there's this subject, about social media and the internet, it's been going on for a while. When I was at school, it was like, how do you sort out the internet? It's a can of worms you've opened. How do you manage it? You've got to put in filters, but even so, even if you do put filters in, people can get around them, and so it is difficult, like, for all involved in a way, like, because as a kid you're curious, you want to see this content, especially if your friends are pressuring you to see it, and then the schools, like, I mean, in the show it's quite chaotic, and I don't know if it's that extreme, but potentially it is. But when I was at school, when I left school, it was just before smartphones were guaranteed. Like, here's my old phone, which I had at school. Like, I still have it, but I never had a smartphone until I left school. But I did have an iPod, but that was only connected to the internet via Wi-Fi, which I couldn't do at school. So I wasn't able to access the whole internet in my hand at any point during school. So I was limited at that point. Some of my friends weren't because they had smartphones. But with kids now, they all got a smartphone because it's just the way it is. But with that, it means that at any second they could see something on social media pop up about them, which will bully them or pressure them into doing something. And also the influencers, like even someone like I Show Speed, right? Yeah, he does a lot of silly things, a lot of stunts and all that sort of thing, which kids obviously shouldn't replicate. But also, like, he was on a stream of an OnlyFans model. Like, I'm not going against him specifically, but just look at that. Like, he is someone who appeals to kids as young as probably 5, like. And so they've been exposed to someone who's on OnlyFans, which is an 18+ website. So they might think, oh, Speed's seen someone on OnlyFans. Let me see, what is OnlyFans about? Kids are curious, so they'll find out what it is. And then boom, you've got a 5-year-old looking at things a 5-year-old shouldn't look at. And that's just one example. And it's not the worst example either, but it's just the way it is. There you can talk about Andrew Tate and all that stuff as well, but there is just so much, everything's so open now where kids can see everything and they will want to know more. So I understand how difficult it is from the parents because they can't manage a kid all the time. And so, what do you do? A lot of it then comes down to the platforms. Can the platforms do more? I think they can. I think the platforms can definitely do more. It's been a big thing for Twitch, actually. Twitch is the live streaming platform. I've been on Twitch quite a few years now, but they've struggled with that because it's a website where you have someone playing Minecraft and appealing to kids who enjoy Minecraft or Roblox, whatever. Then you scroll down a bit and you see a hot tub stream with an OnlyFans link. So should they be in the same pool? No, probably not. Well, no, definitely not. So it's a really interesting thing to talk about, actually, because it's in the addiction, and that's where a lot of the danger lies. Like, you can start looking at these things and looking at adult content and be like, okay, I like that, and I want to do it again tomorrow, and then I'm going to do it next day. I'm going to show my friends, and then you get hooked to it. And a lot of people are getting hooked to it right now. You might be hooked to TikTok. You look at your watch time or whatever it is on your phone, or how often you use apps. Like, you could be addicted to flicking through TikTok or Shorts. It's a real thing. So you can feel that addiction there. There's addiction through obviously gambling, but pornography, lots of stuff. And there's a lot of things people don't talk about. But I think this is a really good show to, again, like I said, highlight these issues, because that addiction can then take you down a line. It's a bit like the whole Yoda thing, isn't it? Like anger leads to hate, sort of thing. So I think it's a show. It's an important show. I get why people have given that title of being an important thing to watch. It's not perfect. It's not something which, like, just from an entertainment standpoint, when you do a one-shot thing, there are going to be points where you're like, well, they're just talking about going to the pictures and eating popcorn. Like, am I getting everything I want here from this certain moment? No, but you're fly on the wall, and being a fly on the wall means you can see it all, and it's worth sticking through those maybe more boring moments to feel the whole weight of the situation, which is what the show does very well. So yeah, there's a lot to unpack with this. I could talk a lot more about this, but I won't ramble on anymore. But I would recommend, if you haven't watched it, do check out Adolescence. It is, like I said, only 4 episodes on Netflix. So yeah, give it a watch and let me know what you think in the comments down below. And if you'd like to watch another video, please do check out my recent reviews. But until then, thank you very much for watching. Subscribe for more, and I'll see you next time.